It's my pleasure to welcome back to the Scarlet Faithful podcast, Rutgers women's basketball head coach, Coquese Washington. Coach, thanks so much for coming back, and really excited to talk to you about how the season's gone so far.
Okay.
So, did want to skip back a little bit. A couple games ago, the win at home against your former program, Penn State. Just
hmm
wanted to congratulate you on that win and just ask, that I thought that victory, the way so many players on your team contributed to that win, it was a total team effort. How does that kind of symbolize how this season has gone so far?
I think it really speaks to the growth that we've had as a program. That's one of the things we emphasize with the team is listen, we're trying to play for the long game, right? So we want to get better every game. We want to get better week by week. And when you look at that Penn State game, 3 weeks before we had played that same Penn State team, and we didn't come out well, got down early, and it took us, we dug a hole that we couldn't get out of. And then you look 3 weeks later, 3.5 weeks later, we play them again, and we got off to a fast start. We showed a lot of resilience. We hung around close, and then we were able to close it out in overtime. And to your point, it was a total team effort. Kai Carter was big for us in overtime. China Cornwell was big on the boards, and I think that growth, and our collective understanding of roles is starting to crystallize for us, and that's helping us to have some success in Big Ten play.
And here we are in February. The grind of the season is in full swing. Only 8 scholarship players. How have you been able to keep them focused? And even in some losses you've had, you've battled back. You've made
hmm
some comebacks. How has this team just continued to battle game after game?
They they have really embraced our coaching staff. Again, we've talked about none of these players. They didn't pick me, right? They didn't come here for me, but they've embraced us. They've embraced our coaching staff, and they believed in what we're doing and how we're trying to do things. And because they have that belief, and because they have that collective fire to try to do things the way we practice and the way we plan it, we're able to go out there on game day and execute. And they love each other. Like, we have a lot of fun. We talk all the time about this is basketball. This is a game. We're supposed to have fun, and because they're having fun, that every day we come in and they're working hard to try to get better, and you see that effort on game day.
And your approach coming into the season, how important was it for you to know that even though you didn't have a deep roster, you had a roster that was bought in to what you wanted? And how is that has it fulfilled your vision for what you hope this team could be this season?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't have a vision for what this team could be, um, but what our vision for what we wanted to do was just simply keep getting better, and keep improving. And that's what we really emphasized with the team was, it's not about what's going to happen in October or November or December, but it's about our growth over the season, and individually we got to get better. And our assistant coaches, John and Tasha and Nikki, have been phenomenal in getting in the gym, getting them better, helping them understand their role, buy into their how they need to contribute to the team's success, and help move the program forward. We just want to be a little bit better than we were last year. Next year, be a little bit better than we were this year. And they've really bought into that. And because of that, I think that the program is getting better. The players are getting better. The team is getting better. And we want to keep getting better in February so we can be a problem for some people in the Big Ten tournament.
And obviously this year, Kaylin Smeichel, freshman, has had a tremendous campaign. Third in the Big Ten in scoring, has scored 20 plus points 10 times already. What has her impact been like, and how has her development progressed throughout the season?
That kid's pretty good, isn't she? You know, she's phenomenal to coach. She really is. She comes in with some natural gifts. She can just put the ball in the basket, and so it's just on us as a coaching staff to find ways and put her in positions to do that, and make sure that the players around her have an opportunity to be impactful, so that it's harder for the other opposing teams to just key on Kayleen. I think she and Tasha have been, Tasha Pointer's her position coach, and they've been in the film room constantly trying to see, okay, this is how people are guarding you. They're going to double team you. They're going to triple team you. They're going to come on the dribble. They're going to come on the pass. And her growth, she's a sponge, man. She wants to be great, right? So she's taking it all in. And sometimes we're like, just calm down. You can't learn everything in one day, right? But she's a sponge, and her and Tasha have been working on trying to, stay ahead of the defense as much as possible.
And just looking at the average minutes, it seems like you've done a great job of balancing playing time for everyone, keeping this team somewhat fresh. As you're
Hmm.
in February now, pretty much everyone averaging between 18 and 30 minutes a game. How has that been? You talked about embracing roles, but also the team embracing that fact that it's a little bit more of a marathon, not a sprint, in terms of being able to make it through the season. With a shorthanded roster.
Yeah, they've been very receptive to that. That everybody's gotta contribute, everybody's gotta play. We try not to overload people with minutes, but sometimes, Kayleen or Awa or Kai, their minutes get up there. But the other thing is, our medical staff, they've been awesome, in keeping everybody healthy, keeping everybody refreshed. Jess Kinder and Glenn Kane, we emphasize they have to take care of their bodies, right? They got to eat right, they got to sleep right, they got to hydrate properly, they got to, try to maintain, as much as possible, a stress-free life. And so we talk about all those off the court body maintenance things that impact our ability to show up on game day. And the kids have bought into it. So, we've, knock on wood, I hope I don't jinx us, but so far it's been pretty good to have those eight available every game.
I'm knocking on wood for you. In terms of Erica Lafayette and China Cornwall, your two most tenured players that you inherited. How
Yeah.
is their buy-in? How important has that been to the overall team's development? And what have they been able to develop and kind of bring to the table this season?
Well, I think, both Erica and China have had such tremendous, tremendous growth over the season. I mean, when you talk about their impact on the team, just statistically, the jumps that both of them have made from last year to this year. I mean, China's leading the conference in offensive rebounding, top three in rebounding overall. I think she at one point she was leading the conference in double doubles. So, I mean, she's, you know, her productivity, and her understanding of what Big Ten play entails has been nothing short of miraculous. And I say the same thing about Erica Lafayette. She's a kid that she didn't even play in every game last year, and now she's starting for us. She's a kid we can count on to knock down open shots and make big plays and give effort for us. So their growth and their development, I think, is a microcosm of what our team has done. We've just continued to get better, and I use the word growth a lot because that's the honest truth. What's happened with this team is these kids have gotten better, and they've grown their games, and we've grown collectively as a team. And I think you can look at Erica and China, the two most tenured players on this team, and what you see out of them in terms of their growth and their jump is really representative of the team.
And talking about just in terms of this team's effort, you're in the top half of the conference rebounding wise. You have three players in the top 20 in terms of Cornwall, Cassandra Brown, and Awa Sidibe. How important has it been for the willingness, again, going back to just kind of endurance for this team to be able to
Yeah.
put it on the line? And rebounding is all about effort, to be able to do that game in and game out.
And I'm going to add to that. I think we're top three in the conference in block shots as well. So,
Yes, number
um,
three.
yeah, we're number three. So, some of that effort stuff on the defensive end, they're really buying into it. And so we talk all the time about we want to play fast. We want to get up and down the court. We don't, you don't want to run plays all game. You want to just get out and run. Well, you can't do any of that if you don't get stops. So they bought into if we want to play offense the way we like to, we got to get stops. And so they're putting the effort in there on defense and from a rebounding and a block shot and a contesting shot standpoint, we're in a pretty good spot.
And this season, with the roster the way it is, have you kind of made adjustments or changed your approach at all in terms of, the day-to-day practices, just in terms of trying to keep this team fresh based on the circumstances?
Oh, absolutely. You can't. We don't anyway. We're not practicing our team, 2 hours every day and wearing them in the ground. And Glenn Kane, our strength coach, every day, he's giving me, okay, this is what our goal is in terms of how long practice should be and what we want to get in terms of intensity. And throughout practice, I'm like, Glenn, where are we? We're halfway there. So, we're using all the data and the analytics that we can to make sure that as much as possible we're fresh on game day. And so that approach then impacts. So, what do you do in practice? What are you emphasizing? What are the non-negotiables that we have to work on? And what's some stuff that's got to just be like, we talk about it, and you guys got to go out there and do it because we can't get up and down and get reps at it. And so, as a staff, we come together daily and we meet and talk about here are the 3 or 4 things that we have to do in practice, and everything else has to be about the mental work and the mental prep for it. And so it's worked so far, and like we said, we're gonna knock on wood that it keeps working for us moving throughout the rest of the season.
Well, one of the team stats I thought was really impressive was you're fifth in the Big Ten with free throw shooting,
Hmm.
76% as a team. And that for me, I mean, with tired legs and, as much as your team is playing, how important has that been also just in terms of, winning those 3 Big Ten games and staying in games, being able to convert at the line?
Free points are easy points. They should be anyway. And so we just spend a lot of time in practice making free throws, because the only way you're going to get better at free throw shooting is shooting free throws. So we spend a lot of time there because we don't have the luxury of wasted points, right? So, we just practice it a lot. We emphasize that, we can get some free points there, and our kids, again, they buy into it, and they take it serious.
So you kind of just went through a little bit of a gauntlet with 3 ranked teams in your last 4 or 5 games. Now you have 3 out of 4 at home. How has being able to play in front of your home fans kind of galvanized this team, and how important is this upcoming stretch now?
I think it's really important. Um, you know, this team, they have quickly learned to love playing in the JMA. I mean, it's a great place to play basketball, and we want to continue to grow it, and make it one of the best place in the world to play a women's basketball game is going to be in the JMA because of the fan base, because of it gets so loud in there. So our kids know when we play at home, they get excited for it. They really get excited. And I think we've got a great opportunity, with 3 of our next 4 at home to get some momentum, going into the Big Ten tournament if we can get some wins at home.
And a couple more for you, just in terms of this team. How do you balance, I guess, your long term goals in establishing your culture, but at the same time trying to get the most out of this current team with the obstacles that are kind of unique to them based on the
Mhm.
roster size?
Well, I think those two things go hand in hand. We have to maximize what we can out of this first team. And these kids buy into it. They buy into that they are the team that is supposed to set the standard moving forward. They've embraced that they are the team that has been charged to get the ball rolling and move the program forward. And to do that, we have to establish our culture. To do that, we have to establish a growth mindset and getting in the gym and working on your game. And so these 8 players have really, really embraced that it's on them to move the program forward, and they're excited about it.
And last one for you. What does this team need to continue to do and to improve on to be able to finish the season with the expectations that you have for them?
Well, I think we start with continuing to be a strong defensive team in terms of making it in a hard night. And then we got to keep going and playing fast and getting going in transition. I think if we can be a really staunch team at home through the month of February, and take care of our home court, we'll be in good shape to secure a bye in the first round, to secure a first round bye in the Big Ten tournament. And then once you do that, anything can happen.
Rutgers women's basketball basketball head coach, Coquese Washington. Your team's definitely turning some heads around the fan base. Impressed with how hard this team plays. Best of luck the rest of the season, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Aaron.